Hello and welcome back to Xpwaste, where there are two types of people in the world. Those who had to get 180 golden nuggets and those who didn't. I'm Michael.
And I think I had to get 180 golden nuggets. I'm not going to lie to you. But my name is Oxie. If you're new around here, welcome. You probably found us by searching OSRS podcast or some variation of that phrase. If you did, congratulations. You're in the right spot. Hopefully you clicked on us first because we're the place to be. So proud to have you here. We talk about Runescape, talk about game updates. We give you guys tips and tricks. We do tier lists. We do fun episodes, things like that. We're absolutely the place to be for old school RuneScape. If you're not new around here, why did nobody tell me how long it took to set up a hunter rumor list? Because I feel like I did like 20 tasks yesterday. Like one of them was a master task because I kept having to do saber-tooth kebbits. I know I'm really late to this conversation, but oh my god, deadfall trapping is misery. Outside of that, Lightning, how you doing this week? What you been up to?
Good chow. It's been a really, really slow week for me, gaming wise. I've basically gone from like 85 or 80. Yeah, I think I started at 85 this week. 85 to 87 woodcutting. I've just been chopping teaks all week. My wife and I restarted Game of Thrones. So every night.
To hear that.
Well, it's been like 6 years since we've finished it. Like, I don't think I've watched. I haven't watched actual Game of Thrones since the end of season 8, which was in 2018, I think. So starting it from season 1 all the way to potentially going to the end. We actually talked about that last night. We're like, are we gonna even watch season 7 or season 8? Season 8? I'm like, I guess we'll figure that out when we get there. Because at this point right now, it's like I don't know. We'll figure it out. But every night that I could be going to like go game, we looked at each other like, Game of Thrones? Yeah. So I've just been wood cutting on the iPad. So the goal is to get 90 or I guess like I could get 88 or 89 and just boost with the Dragon Axe. But I want to get 250 redwood logs so that I can make the full Forester's outfit. Like the cosmetic change to the lumberjack outfit. You need 250 noted redwood logs for that. And
Gross.
Yeah, it's a lot. Other than that, I have not done a single thing other in this game. Like I've thought about coming and trying more like Gauntlet or doing more Zulrah, and then I've just not. I've not been doing it. So literally, I think I started at 84 this week. 84 to 87 wood cutting since the last time we talked on the recording.
What a man.
Yeah. It's been fun. I'm almost 88. I'm like 70K away, so it'll be about an hour. By the way, hunters, if you don't have the two-handed axe, get the two-handed axe. It's the felling axe, and then buy yourself some Forester's rations because mucho good. If you're an Ironman, they're easy to make.
Really insanely hard. I bought myself a couple thousand for the woodcutting grind. Crystal two-handed axe, oh baby. Insanely hard for the woodcutting grind.
Yeah. It's the difference between 85.5 XP per log. And then I think, it gives you like 8.5 more XP per ration. So times that by however many rations you buy or make. And that's how much extra XP you're getting for doing the same thing. So for me, I made like 11 or 12,000 rations. That came out to about an extra million XP for doing the same thing with the two-handed axe, which is kind of bonkers. Like the only thing you need is the whatever leaf. So they have like leaves all the way up to magic leaves. And then you just combine those with fish, cooked fish, and it makes a ration. Very, very easy. Like I used about 500 lobsters and it made nearly 12,000 rations with yew leaves. So highly recommend that. It's free XP, guys. Just do it. But wood cutting aside, what have you been up to? We haven't talked this whole week.
Yeah, I've really not been woodcutting. I wrapped up a tile race. For those of you curious, I did eventually get a duplicate KS Elemental pet on 422 KC of that week. So my KSL KC, it's something stupid. It's like 700 something. 738 KS Elemental. I'm currently sitting at rank 1952 for KS Elemental because it went over drop rate to get a duplicate pet. We ended up winning the event.
Ooh,
Like 9 mil a piece, but like it didn't
your
matter. It was
stacked
such a small
team.
friend group that like it was a disgusting team. I'm not gonna lie. We for those events with the group of friends I'm with, we do like it's like a random roll. We don't pick teams. We
Mhm.
just sort of like have 2 designated leaders, and then they just get like truly randomly assigned with whatever. And we got a pretty good draw again, which was fun. So we did win that event. It's less about the money and more about the bragging rights, which was absolutely worth it for us to be back to back tile race champions. I have done some skilling. I did construction, and earlier when I was like, "Oh, I can do this in a day," I absolutely cannot. Not because it takes a long time, but because asking me to focus on like just holding the one key and doing nothing else, that's a big ask for someone with this kind of an attention problem. It's real tough. I try to do it while editing, and oh man, it was just driving me insane. It's not a bad method. Like it's actually a really good construction training method. It's just like, oh man, it's just a lot of boredom. But I'm not complaining. I got a screenshot of like 950k an hour. So I'm getting the good XP rates. I just need a skill to complain about. I don't know what I'm gonna max. I think that's my biggest. I don't know, and frankly, I don't care what I'm gonna max. I don't. I will have a max cape by the end of the year. In a perfect world, I'll have a max cape by bingo. I got red salamanders again. God damn it! I thought I had these blocked. I don't understand how the hunter rumor block list works. I don't know why. If I have to do red salamanders, that's fine, as long as it's not red chinchampas or anything with a deadfall. But no, the what was I saying? What was I? Oh, maxing. Man, ideally, I think maxing by bingo would be fun. We'll see, man. I think if I can get rune crafting done in my AFK time this summer, when I have the AFK time to do it, that's cool, you know. But like, I don't know, the maxing motivation isn't there. But I've decided to take the next couple of weeks off because this past weekend, 2 weekends ago rather, I was in the tile race. I had a couple days off, and then on July 4th, I started a new bingo. A bingo for, I don't know if you guys are heard of Baby Grim. If you're on Twitter, you probably have. I joined a bingo that she was a part of because like somebody reached out in her streamer Discord and was like, "Hey, join." And I will say I've had a fantastic time with my team. My team has been spectacular. It's a bunch of people I haven't met before. I guess you could call them content creators, streamers, like personality people on Twitter that I've never met before, as well as some folks who I've seen around in chats. So it's been a lot of fun to get to know my team. We got a wide spread of skills, and the event in that regard has been a lot of fun. I've done, oh Jesus, I think I sat down and in 24 hours did like 180 something Zulrah KC, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it's more than I think I have ever done in a 24-hour span ever. Like we are schmooving through Zulrah KC. Not a unique, not a single one for the board, which has felt
That
great.
sucks.
And now currently I'm doing Hunter Rumors because much like our last bingo, they have a Hunter Rumor KC, and it's literally the only AFK thing on the board that I can do while we record. So
Mm.
I'm doing Hunter Rumors just to finish that tile for the team. It's been an event. Let me tell you. It's certainly been an event. I've been filling Michael in on some bits of it. It's been an event, but I've gotten to do a lot of PVM, which has been a lot of fun because I've needed to do PVM. It's been helping my heart, you know. I did the math.
It's been too long.
Speaking of it has been too long. I did the math yesterday.
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna wait until I have smithing and herblore purchased, but I absolutely have more than enough for a shadow. 100%.
Wait, you're gonna
We
have
can
all 3 mega
absolutely
weapons?
do a shadow rebuild. Absolutely. Oh yeah, I was doing math last night. I
A
had like
rebuild?
I had like 1.1 worth of stuff just so I could like get rid of 1.1 worth of stuff while keeping Scythe, T-Bow, full ancestral, all 4 Zenites, and the BCP, the gifted BCP. So keeping all of that shit, I had well over 1.1. I thought to myself, I was like, dude, like I guess I could find 200 mil worth of like garbage in this bank. Like it surely can't be that bad. And I'm like, what? I don't have any money pulled out. Like I just had items. Like I didn't have my cash stack pulled out. And
Yeah.
I pulled out my cash stack, and we have more than enough for a shadow rebuild. We absolutely have more than enough. So
Are shadows
I
down now
think,
recently?
oh yeah, shadows are plummeting. I think we just have to get Smithing and Herblore done first because I don't want to run into a situation where like, you know, I need like 70 mil for Herblore and I don't have it, and then I have to like
Yeah.
wait to get that done, or God forbid, do it slowly. Because I still want to, when I hit 98, I think I still want to go for the like 900k Herblore XP an hour with the super anti. So if you guys don't know, I think I talked about it a couple of weeks ago. There's a method with Herblore where you can add lava dragon scales or like crushed up lava dragon scale dust or something to anti-fire potions, and you can one tick them and get like 6 to 800k Herblore XP an hour once you hit 98. So I think I might do that just to see if I can, because that might be fun.
How much is it gonna
But
cost you?
I don't really want to talk about it because it's going to be expensive. It's like 13
But
GP per XP.
we gotta
It's
know.
going to be a lot of money. It's going to be a lot of money. It's like 13 something GP per XP, maybe more. Maybe it's not 1300 GP per XP. That's way too much money. But like, yeah,
I mean,
I don't know.
it's
That's where I'm at. So like, I'm already looking ahead to the post max grind. I will say, being in a bingo that has been both good with a team dynamic while simultaneously having about half a dozen things that I myself would never do in a bingo event. The fire is back in full swing for fall bingo. Michael just shuddered down his spine because he knows what's coming his way. But boy, let me tell you, it has motivated the absolute hell out of me for fall bingo. I cannot wait to really get into the swing of things. We have some other stuff to work on in TNL before we really buckle down and do bingo. But oh baby. And for everyone who keeps asking me, mid to late October, I don't have the exact dates. Mid to late October, probably. I don't know otherwise. I'm sorry, guys. I want to give you guys
It's
the
in the
best answer
fall.
possible. Yeah,
It'll be in the fall.
I was in VC earlier with Riley and Raccoon, and Riley was like, "When is fall bingo?" And he said, "I swear to God, if anybody says fall," and Troll was like, "I was this close, mate. I was this close to saying fall." Just because, like, yeah, it is in the fall, you guys. It's coming. It's coming. I know you want to take time off. That's cool. We'll get you that info as soon as we have it. It's the best I got.
Flingo will be here soon. Before you know it.
Oh yeah, before you know it, it will be here. And trust me, when it's here, you'll know. There's going to be no mistaking when fall bingo comes around.
So if you guys are not aware, and this is your first time like hearing about like a TNL Xpwaste event, we generally do more of like a stock standard bingo in the spring because we do 2 bingos per year, one in the
Two
spring
like
and one in
major
the fall.
bingos, like 1+ billion GP pots, like gigantic teams,
Like
shit like that.
400
Like
or
we do
500
2 of
people.
those a year. Yeah.
Yeah, big ones. We do smaller events, and we're like once we get everything with the restructure set in place, hopefully we'll have a wider spread of events happening more often. But we do like a stock standard bingo in the spring, and then we do just like a wacky fun bingo in the fall. And so that's why Oxy's hyping it up, because it's sure to be wacky. Like I don't even know.
It's wacky, dude. It's wacky.
I've not.
I'll have to
I've
give
got-
you the TLDR again.
I do need the TL. I've not gotten the full details, but I know just based on like cryptic messages that he sent back and forth between him and Tiki that it's going to be pretty in depth, and I'm slightly worried, but we'll figure it out, I guess.
I'm gonna need all hands
I
on
trust
deck.
Oxy.
So much to Michael's chagrin, we're gonna need it's gonna be like the Avengers, dude. We need everybody for this bingo. But oh my god, if we could pull it off. Oh my god.
Yeah. I did tell myself I wasn't going to plan this one or be involved, but I think I have to at this point because we had some restructuring happen and I don't have that luxury anymore.
Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
How many events have you done now? Like, what is this? So
in the
bingo?
fall it'll be my 10th bingo event that I've helped plan. It's not even you have helped me plan all the bingo events too. So like we have 10 bingos. I want to say a ton of boss of the week, skill of the week, shit like that.
Yeah.
Like we've got a lot of event planning experience. We've also been there to assist for other events, like the winter weekends that have happened in TNL, whether it was Immortals winter weekend or whether it was Zero and Fane's winter weekend. We didn't really plan those as much as they did. Like that was definitely their brainchild, but we've helped facilitate those kinds of events, as well as people want to do boss masses. People want to do all sorts of skilling events. Like right now we have, I want to say it's Gecko, Coach Beard, wants to do an agility event because he hates you guys and wants to take you all to the Grimhaven agility arena. It actually sounds like a lot of fun. But we're just let us know what you need. If we need to add everyone, we'll do that. Because for understandable reasons, we don't give the general populace the ability to add everyone because that would be really spammy and annoying. But no, we are always happy to help. We got a lot of experience doing it. Which I guess kind of leads into main title content. Dude, we are on world record pace for an Xpwaste episode this week. We are on world record pace.
People who just skip to the 20 or 30 minute mark are going to miss half of the main title content because they don't realize how on point we are today.
Yeah, I don't know why. I thought for sure Michael's son's birthday was yesterday. I thought we was going to talk about that and all that, but no, we're schmoovin', baby. We are on track for what's it called?
I'm tired. Today? That's all I have to say. I'm tired.
But Michael texted me yesterday. He's like, "What are we talking about?" I'm like, "I don't know." He's like, "I'm so tired, man. And my son's birthday. I'm so tired." He also sent
the
me
heat in Texas is outrageous.
That I was gonna say, you sent me that picture of the inside of your car. What
new
the
record?
Fuck?
That's not the inside. That's the outside temp. But yes, 112 degrees Fahrenheit.
Jesus Christ.
It's bonkers, dude.
No, that's absurd.
The last 3 days have been nice in the low 90s.
I was going to say nice 70 and windy or nice 92 as a reprieve from the infernal 92. Heat.
92, but still humid. But it's 90 degrees right now. And what's the humidity level? 57%. It's still high, but it rained a couple days ago, and that brought down the temperature ceiling a bit, it's been a nice reprieve. But I was outside for most of the day yesterday because I had to mow the grass and I had to clean off our porch, clean out the pool, put stuff away. So I'm just tired. I'm sunburned. My back hurts, sleepy. So I didn't want to bring down the mood too much. But yes, main title content. We're talking about events and event planning. And we've done a lot. If you were to make a resume for event planning and all the stuff we've done in TNL, it'd be pretty extensive. I kind of look at the roles that we have, the roles that you have in Discord as kind of a resume. And you can go back and you can as far back as, I don't know, I was part of a wilderness bingo, fall bingo, fall bingo captain. We're going to consolidate some of these roles into just one thing. So just not as many, but there's a bunch.
After 4 years, we are dangerously approaching the role cap on Discord. So we think by the time fall bingo is over, we'll need to start creating like legacy bingo rolls like from 2023 prior. So like
Mm-hmm.
it's not that we want to take your guys' rolls away. It's because I feel really bad. Like I'm sentimental about shit like that, you know. But
Yeah.
we aren't going to have any room to make any more because that's how many events that we've held in this Discord. Is we've had that many that we're running out of space to have more rolls.
So if you have ever thought to yourself, I have a clan, I have a group of friends, I'd like to plan an event. This is kind of our updated version because I feel like we've done this in the past, at least once or twice,
Oh,
when
surely.
talking about events, but never. I don't think we've done an entire episode. But if you're thinking to yourself, I'd like to put on a bingo event, I'd like to put on a skill of the week, I'd like to do this. This episode's for you, and take notes because we got a lot of wisdom to share. So,
Yeah.
as far as bingos are concerned, did you want to start with any like event in particular, or
I mean,
what's top of mind for you?
I think the biggest thing that's on the top of my mind right now, it's been sitting at the top of my mind for the last couple of days, is when you're planning an event, regardless of what it is, bingo, skill of the week, boss of the week, tile race, you know, other like informal bossing event, whatever it is, accept help from other people. This is something that I know Michael knows this about me, that I have had to like TMD and Michael have had to slap me around for this before because I very frequently without talking about it or asking anyone else, will just get this like, fine, I'll do it myself mentality. And I'll end up trying to force myself to do like every single piece of documentation and Discord work and board things and things like that. And TMD and Michael have like started shaking me in the corner, like, stop, you're not allowed to touch anything. Just stop doing things. So that is probably the biggest thing that I would say is like, I guess, yeah, ask for help. Sorry, the hunter rumors are distracting me. But absolutely ask for help. Because I have found, as someone who not necessarily a micromanager, but likes to know what's going on everywhere, I understand how it can be stressful. On the same token, sometimes you have ideas that sound really great and they are absolutely fantastic ideas, and you tell somebody else and they go, that's the stupidest fucking thing I've ever heard in my entire life. And then you go, well, that can't be right. And then three other people tell you that's the stupidest fucking idea they've ever heard. And then you're like, okay, maybe that wasn't such a good idea. And what that does is that helps you reassess like what you're trying to do and accomplish, right? It helps you reassess what is really a good idea and what you think personally would be fun, right? When it comes to anything for any event, just for the love of God, accept some help. Take it from someone who has attempted to solo a fucking 300 person bingo. Please, please, please do as I say and not as I do, and ask for help when planning these events. Because if you don't have friends like TMD, Michael, Jamie, Shadow, Scape, who were just like, yeah, you can get fucked. You're not doing this by yourself. We're gonna help you anyways. You are gonna take on way more stress than you realize. I guess we'll put it that way. It's way more difficult to plan one of these things than you probably expect it is. Not in a gatekeepy way, in just like an ask for help way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. There's two caveats I think to that, but even still, your point still stands. The only way that I would say that it could work is if you take enough time that you're not burning yourself out. So like say you're like it's January, it's the start of the year and you're like this fall, 10 months from now, I want to put on an absolutely bitchin' event and you're going to do it all yourself. You're going to figure out all the tiles, you're going to do the like you're going to make the board, you're going to write all the rules, you're going to organize the people in your clan. If there's 10 months to do it, surely you could get it done. But to the flip side of that is exactly what Oxy said just now is you may not have all the right answers. And that's where you rely on other people to give you different perspectives. There's been so many times that we come up with what we think is a great tile, and then other people's input makes it even better. Or other people's input says, that's actually not as easy as you think it is, or that's harder than what most people can do, or that's way too easy. Like there's just a lot of feedback that you can
2
get.
million agility XP when there's 4 teams of 4 players apiece is a terrible tile. Don't do that.
Don't do that. Yeah. So like stuff will naturally come. Like you'll kind of get your feet off the ground naturally if you just want to like try and fail. If you want to just like Oxie said, like one of our first bingos, we had very small teams and we asked those teams to get 2 million agility XP. Now, to contrast that, we're doing 20-person teams and we're asking them to get 2 million agility XP. So like imagine trying to play a bingo and you have to, as a team, like each individual person has to get 500,000 agility XP to have any hope in completing that tile, and it's worth 1 point. You're just not going to do it.
You guys, but you don't understand, right? Like this was in September of 2020. This was pre-Sepulcher. This was pre-agility rework. And this is when we were all shitters. Not an infernal cape in sight. The closest person to max had like 2040 total level. Like the fastest XP rate at the time would have been the RD rooftop at like 50k an hour. So that 100k or 500k, you're asking 10 hours minimum from every player, assuming they're tick perfect at the RD rooftop course. When in reality, someone like me who had, I don't know, like 72 agility at the time, was
Sears
maybe
Village.
able to do the Prif course. Maybe able to do the Prif course. But if not, would have had to do the Sears course, right? Like, that was just such a bad tile because, and I guess it's like, it's not really a point, but because like I do want to get back to like the main feature is asking for help, but like do your research on some of these tiles. We could get into the weeds here in a little bit, but what I mean by that, but like please do your research when creating tiles. I know, Michael, you had another thing other than burning out,
It's burning out. You could burn out if you try and do it all quickly. But I think the other point was basically just saying you may not have the best perspective if you're doing it alone. And the best thing you can do is to get constructive feedback about everything. Like get a second pair of eyes on it. If it's your sister or your brother or your cousin or your mom, just have somebody else look over it, read over it. If they don't know anything about RuneScape, it may not help a whole bunch, but like you can have them proofread it, make sure that the stuff that you're writing, if you're writing a rules sheet or a tile, an explanation of a tile, just make sure that it makes sense. You can proofread things. There's no like you don't have things contradicting other things. That's a big one. This is top of mind for me because this last bingo that we did, I meticulously, line by line, went through the entire like tile explanation sheet and I standardized everything. Like I standardized every explanation to where if tile, like example, tile A explained it this way, I went through and I made sure that every other tile explanation followed that same format. Because there's nothing more confusing to be like, we just want to avoid confusion. And there's so many little things, especially in the bingos that like the size of events that we're doing. There's so many little things that can just cause confusion. That if you can take the time before the event to iron those little details out, you can avoid that confusion. And I think that's one thing that we didn't have a ton of questions on the actual tile explanations, which I thought was a relief. Looking back at the event, like everything pretty much made sense. There was no ambiguity. There wasn't a lot of ambiguity. There still can be ambiguity because again, even with a team of like 5 or 6 people all looking at it, you're not always going to have all the answers and you're not always going to be able to ask the appropriate questions. Because like, if you have a group of 5 people or you have a group of 500 people, who's going to be able to ask more broad questions? the group of 500 people, because it's 500 different brains working versus just 5. So obviously you're not going to have all the answers, even if it's like a decent sized group of planners, but don't do it alone. I think that's like the point that we're trying to make here is just don't do it alone.
Yeah. And I mean,
or don't think you have to.
Yeah, that's probably the bigger thing. It's something you have to do it by yourself, right? Like one big thing that really helped us when we made our bingos is I want to say it was Springo 23, I think it was. Springo 23, for the first time, we had the captains track their own drops of their teams.
Yeah.
Holy shit, dude. That absolutely changed the way that we can do these events. It was absurd. We went from having to input like thousands of screenshots manually to like checking in with people who we know and trust to be like, hey, are your drops good? Okay, cool. We believe you. Like, you've been around for years. We have no reason to think you're lying to us. Cool. Awesome. That was such a huge change from, well, we are the people in charge, so we have to verify all the drops. Oh my God. It's just like, even if like, oh, like the captains want to give input on a tile, like they don't have to. You like people can give input and you don't have to take it, right? But on the other hand, people are going to have opinions about things. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they truly don't make sense. You know, that's the thing when planning one of these events is sometimes people will say things and you'll be like, ooh, been there, done that, tried that, doesn't work. Like, if I had $1 for every time somebody suggested, what if we did a leagues bingo? Oh, it's just, it's like, do you guys really want that kind of commitment on top of leagues? Like, what if we did a bingo that lasted for a month? Oh, you know, it's always like those kinds of suggestions where I'm like, I get where you're coming from, but having done the logistical planning for like 8 to 10 day events, a 30-day event would make me go insane. So I don't think I could do that. Another part of getting feedback from other people, it's very hard to do. It's hard to do when you plan an event, but don't take it personal. I don't mean don't be competitive. I don't mean don't care about the event. I mean, it is literally impossible to please everyone. Both from my clinical standpoint and from my vast experience planning these events, and Michael can tell you too, it is impossible to please everyone. Sometimes people are going to say some out-of-pocket shit about the event. At the end of the day, when you plan one of these things, you put your heart, your soul, blood, sweat, tears, you put your whole chest, you put your whole ass into this event just for someone to say, well, I think that's stupid, having never taken the time and effort to plan their own event. It can feel bad. I promise you don't take it personally, or it will impact you in a way that isn't going to be fun, because the people shitting on you aren't going to care, but you are, and it's in effect going to ruin the experience you have with the rest of the event, right? So if you're planning an event like this, people are going to disagree sometimes, you know. We're also no strangers to making decisions that are wildly unpopular. Let's to put it that way. If you played in Springo 24, you were there for that, and yeah, sometimes we make mistakes, right? At the end of the day, not taking it personal as an organizer is something you just have to keep in the back of your head, right? It's not about you as a person, right? It's about the event that people are passionate and competitive for, and it's understandable. Yeah, Fishy Bun in the recording booth chat says it's easy to forget that we're all humans in the heat of the moment. And that's absolutely true. You know, it's look, if you're the type of person to get very heated about things like rule changes or stuff you don't agree with, it's understandable that like the people behind the screen aren't real because they're just fun little RuneScape guys who live in my computer. At the same time, though, they are people on the other side of that. So just something to consider, but mainly planning from the planning standpoint, from someone who's done planning and from someone who's made some dumb ass decisions planning. Don't take it personal or try your best not to. Because at the end of the day, like, I know for a fact if you're making a dumbass decision in bingo, unless you truly are a spiteful person who just wants to see people angry, you're making the decision that I think is stupid because you think it's a good idea. Because you want what is best for the event and for the community involved in the event. Like, you know, it's done with the best of intentions, but sometimes the results just don't land where you want them to. Don't take it personal, dog. That is my advice to you. If you're planning an event for your own clan, or you want to do something in TNL, or you're in TNL, but you have a smaller group of friends that you're like, let's do something smaller and more private with like just, my boys here. Like, don't take it personal,
Yeah. It's hard to not take it personal. I took it very personal. And I think that I definitely got a little heated in the moment and later regretted it. Definitely. Oh man, that was basically what happened was we decided to try and do some sort of bonus point thing at like 2 days before bingo ended. We thought it was a great idea. We had been trying to figure that out the entire week. And it didn't land. And there was a lot of backlash, a lot of people upset by it, and rightfully so. I think looking back, it should have been either announced at the beginning or not at all. And we dropped the ball on that one. So definitely got hard. It was difficult to not take it personal. The thing that I think makes it difficult though is that you pour so much of your time, and I think people take that for granted. Looking at the event as a whole, it's as easy as just saying like, let's get however big your board is. It could be a 5x5. So that's what, 25 tiles that you have to come up with. Pretty easy to get 25 tiles. You have to come up with a rule sheet for that, make a board graphic, have a sign up sheet, collect buy-ins, and have some sort of explanation of what your tiles are. That's at the end of the day, I think that's pretty much what bingo boils down to. There's some extra things like if you're in Discord, you make channels for your teams, you make drops, submission places, you can make a place that teams can hang out. You have a way to pick teams. Like there's other things, but at the end of the day, those 5 or 6 things are what it takes to do a bingo. But it's so much more than that. Like how many hours do you think personally you put into planning a bingo from start to finish? If you had to like calculate it all out.
For skill tree bingo, I think specifically, because in the same vein, I took the critiques from skill tree bingo so personally, I barely put any effort into planning Springo. So yeah, take it from a guy who also took it very personally. Don't do that. It's a bad idea, and it makes it not fun for anyone. God, skill tree bingo, I want to say from start to finish. So like collecting responses and sending out feedback forms after the event was over, not even including playing, it was like 100 hours.
And that's just you.
Between all the tile planning meetings and all the documentation and sitting with the data team and figuring out how we're going to do code words and spreadsheets and like, making sure like troubleshooting all of our shit to make sure it worked in theory. I think it was like 100-hour planning time. I think genuinely like 20 of those hours were strictly how the fuck is this event going to work? I feel like, between like talking it over with the other admins and trying to get the data team on board with it. God, that was a complicated event. That took a really long time.
Yeah.
And it's also going to take a long time for this event too, but I'm not going to talk too much about fall bingo yet. Give it time. You will see. Give it time.
Like we start planning bingos a couple of months before the actual event starts. So like for reference, I wanted to start planning Springo in January just so that we could take it a little bit slower. We had an initial planning meeting and then we didn't do anything for like 2 months. And then what bingo started in beginning of May, right?
It's like second week of May, yeah, something like that.
I think we actually like boots on the ground started doing actual planning like end of March. Which that to me was not enough time. But that's neither here nor there. I think mine is probably closer to like 50 to 60 hours normally. Because I do a lot, but I also the majority of my time is spent in the tile meetings and then also the board graphics. The board graphics for me take a long time. Not so much now because I have it down to kind of a science, but in the past I would spend like 4 weeks making the board. And that was like a couple hours a week. So
yeah,
they take a long time.
It's a huge time commitment. But yeah, I mean, I think Michael has kind of inadvertently led into another major point that I do kind of want to talk about. Organization.
Ooh.
Be, for your sake, holy shit, be organized. This does not just apply for bingo. Bingo, boss of the week, skill of the week, any sort of like if you want to do a tile race, if you want to do like a king of the hill tracker for various like skills and things like that, just be organized about it. If you're doing an event, I highly recommend, no matter what it is, if it is even a little bit formal, have a sign up sheet. Have a sign up sheet, collect
Google
the
Forms are
names.
free.
Oh my God, Google Forms are free, Google Sheets are free, Google Docs are free. Like just use those resources. And the beauty in that organization also goes into like getting help from other people. We have a folder that is shared between me, Michael, TMD, and like anyone else who has been a part of the planning process in TNL. And it's just called TNL, and it has like 4 years worth of documentation, sign up sheets, draft score sheets, team lists, feedback forms, bingo boards. Every bit of documentation we've ever had for these events is stored in these little shared drives or whatever. It is so helpful having the in-game name and the Discord name of the people that you're playing with, because it helps you know who has and hasn't like paid for the event, for example. It helps you know what in-game names you need to put on for a tracker, things like that. If you've never used Wise Old Man or Temple, I think Temple is more like, if you use Temple, you're probably more old school, or you're just in the HLC, you're deep into it. But if you've not used it, it's very easy to create a competition. There's a competitions tab on both Wise Old Man and Temple. They both have plugins on RuneLite that sync your character's stats directly to the app. But I believe if your character exists and is known by Wise Old Man and Temple, which most characters are, it'll pull from the high score data without the plugin. So having that in your hands, right? Having that available to you for organization to create competitions, just write it down. Just write it down. It doesn't. I guess that's the other thing I could say is be organized. Write it down. Like find some way to be able to reference what you want to do, whether it's a rule sheet or a sign up sheet or a requirement sheet, whatever it is. Write it down, have it somewhere, and be organized, because these events can get crazy. Because what people usually don't take into consideration is you have to play the event too. And if I asked you, what would you rather do? Raid with the boys on day 1 of bingo, or do 2 hours of admin work? Other than Michael, I can't think of anyone who would say I would rather do the admin work and not raid. Genuinely, because people like, you're in it. It's time for the event. You don't want to waste your time, messing around with a bunch of other stuff that like you should have had done already. Be organized. Be organized, and especially with Discord as well, like just figure out channels. I don't say that as like, oh, it's easy, figure it out. Play around with it, mess it up, get it wrong. we have a running joke in TNL that TMD is not allowed to touch any channels ever, because one time he tried to change role permissions or do something, and more or less undid like 3 hours of work that I had done in Discord, just because he thought, oh well, this seems like it would make way more sense without talking to anyone, and just like completely disrupted like the entire thing. I'm like, okay, cool, TMD, don't ever touch a Discord channel again. I'll fix it. And
You're
that was like
banned.
2 years ago, and he still is. He's not like, I'm not gonna touch it. Like Oxy can take care of it, you know. Yeah.
On the
Be
note of like
organized.
resources and being organized, Canva is free. Canva is how I make all of the bingo boards. If you're still like fiddling around with like Microsoft Paint, stop it. Get some help. Go to Canva. Like, you don't need a degree in graphic design to make it look like, you know, your preschool sister made it. You can make it look good. And there are templates. You can look at, I don't know, like Google RuneScape bingo board and see what pops up and see if you can get some inspiration. I like taking the menus in the game and making that like the background. Like I've gone in, I think for skill tree, I actually used like the skills tab, and I kind of made it look like each tile was a tile of in the skills tab. So there's a lot of things you can do. Like there's people use the buttons from the RuneScape website where you do like new user, member, whatever. Like there's a lot of stuff. And I've done it for a lot of people, and I'll do it for you. If you want me to send you like examples of past bingo boards that we've done, and maybe you want to use that for yourself, just message me on Discord and I'll send you any bingo board that I have on my desktop at the moment. And I have a whole folder, so I'll send you all of them. But like if you need inspiration and you're gonna do an event for yourself, let me know and I'll give you any inspiration you need. Because like I said, we've done like 8 or 9 of these at this point. So
this will be number 10. Coming up in the fall will be our 10th event.
Yeah, because we do 2 a year, except for in 2020. We did fall 2020 and then
Fall
2
2020.
every year after that.
Well, we did the wilderness bingo, so that's where we're getting to 10 in this fall.
Okay.
Is because we did 1 in 2020, but we did 3 in 2021.
Gotcha.
God, what a terrible event that was. I wish that event went better than it did. It just turned into like a PKing rag fest. Like the idea was like the brand new clan system is out. You can't hide from the clan system with your private chat off because like we'll still know where you are and we can hunt you down. And like you're encouraged to kill other teammates and like there are no rules. You're in the deep wilderness. We're toughing everybody up. And it turned into like, we have the tile done, so we're not going to go for any more tiles. We're just going to prevent other teams from completing the tiles, which is way less enjoyable. You know, like we had some good fun. We had some good times. We had some good fights, but it was mostly just like at the 11th hour, we're trying to get this last bingo tile done, and we cannot get a moment's peace from the shitters on the other team, who like aren't even really trying to kill us. They're just like bolt ragging and taking aggro away. Because this was before, oh god, this was before the singles plus rule in the wilderness. So you would get ragged and you couldn't fight the boss. God, what a terrible time.
Fun fact, you actually can hide from the clan system. Like I don't know if we knew. I don't know if we didn't know this back then, but if you just click leave, you don't actually leave the clan. You just
leave
don't
the
show up on the clan list. Yeah, I don't know if we didn't know that back then, or if it wasn't a thing. Who knows? We'll never know. It was a terrible event.
It was crusty.
But yeah, let me know if you need inspiration for any sort of graphics, or we have all of our old like tile clarifications. You want us to send that as well? And literally, if you just want to run a bingo that we did to make it easy on yourself, you can do it. And then you're just kind of stuck doing all the admin work. You can do that too. To that note, I will say, or because you said this earlier, and I want to kind of give another perspective. So you said you have to do all the admin work and run and play in the event. But technically, you don't have to play the event. If you just want to be super admin and plan it all and run it from the background and be super impartial. Cause like that's one thing that I think a lot of people maybe like give a little side eye to is that there's 3 people who, well, there's me, you, and TMD, Jamie, and Shadow. There's 5 people in Scape 2. So 6 people that helped plan
And
the event.
Tiki and Rune Guy. 8.
8 people who've seen the board before it was released to the masses. And those 8 people are all playing in the event. Some people think that that's like an unfair advantage, but like we don't do anything for our personal accounts that ever make it like ever give us an advantage. Like when stacking was quote unquote allowed, we didn't stack anything that we thought could be useful. We never stacked like clue scrolls to just pop at the start of the event. We never stacked like we didn't go get a bunch of Temporos and Winter Tot crates and Temporos points, and we never did all that. So like there was never something that could give us. We never took advantage of the things that could give us an edge, but I don't know. We can't. I'm not speaking for everybody. I'm just speaking for our planning group. So if you don't want to have that responsibility of like knowing everything about the event and playing in the event, you can sit out. You don't have to participate. You can just be an admin. You can be a planner, and spend 2 hours doing admin work while everybody else is rating. So it's just like an alternate perspective, I guess.
Which is fair. If you are a kind of player who thinks, oh, you planned the event, that must mean you have an unfair advantage. That's bad. I don't want you playing in the event. With all due respect, no shit, we have an advantage. We made the board, but it's done in a way that doesn't impact other teams, right? Because at the end of the day, if me, Jamie, Shadow, Michael, TMD, Scape, Tiki, and Rune Guy if we do all the stuff but we don't play, we're bored to tears. Because we've spent the last 6 months working on an event and then just poof, it's gone, right? We don't get to do anything of it. Like that feels really bad to make something and not be a part of it. If we don't captain an event, it means we become like the number 1 draft pick, quote unquote, because we know everything about the board. But that's also not true, because there are people like Rune Guy who's never captained an event before. He doesn't ever go in the first round. You'd think if it gave you such an egregious advantage to know the board, you would be the first pick overall, right? But it doesn't, because a good captain can strategize for tiles, and a good captain for bingo or a good captain for a tile race knows that it's not about whatever pre-grinding advantage that you have. They know that it's about hours. Because less about the planning and more about the playing and more about the leading. If you want to captain a bingo team, which you totally should for fall bingo, it has nothing to do with like, oh, Oxie saw the board, so his team's going to win. If that was the case, my boy Nate Dogg could finally sleep happily. Because we have not won a bingo event. I don't think I've won a bingo in TNL since spring of 2021. And I have known every single board in and out, like to the most nth level of detail. Like all of the spelling mistakes I get called out for, like I knew about that kind of thing. Like it doesn't give an advantage. And as a captain, you really have to sit down and think like, all right, here's what we're up against. It's the hour before the event starts. It's 8 hours. It's 12 hours before the event starts. We're never dropping the board at the start of the event ever again. That was terrible. That was such a horrible start to Skill Tree Bingo when we opened it up, because all my team was like, oh yeah, Oxie, Fashionscape TOA. I'm like, no, the only tombs I'm running are the tombs of answering all these goddamn questions. So I can't come with you guys. I literally had to sit out the first like hour of Skill Tree Bingo because I was answering questions for people on the board because it dropped at the same time of the event starts. We're not doing that ever again, because that was rough. But
I like 12 hours. I think 24 hours is also a good option sometimes.
24 hours feels like a lot, because what happens with 24 hours is if we started at like, I don't know, let's say we start the event at 11 a.m. Eastern time on a Saturday, that means we're getting blown up with questions throughout the workday on Friday. And that's and annoying. I love you guys so much, and like as a player, ask as many questions as possible because a well-run bingo event or a well-run any event, period, will do one of two things. They will be one step ahead of you, and they'll say, "Don't worry, this is how we're handling that," or "This is what that looks like if that comes up," or they'll go, "Huh, that's a bit of a breach in our defenses. Let me bring that up to somebody, and we'll figure out how to get that going." Right?
Yeah.
That's what a good, well organized event where people are asking for help will look like.
Mm-hmm.
When that goes on through the workday, that's a lot. That's a lot when you're trying to like get work done because it's also exciting to talk about bingo more so than it is work.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
24 hours is fine, but 24 hours is just kind of inconvenient for that. Like, I'm not going to do my actual job if we release it that early, so I would rather not. But
Well, hey,
you know.
if you have a like a in-depth and easily understandable tile explanation sheet, there's no questions. It's all smooth sailing, baby.
I've found there usually is questions, no matter what. I feel like there's always questions about something related to the tiles because again, it's like the important bit, right? This is the part that gets you points. This is the part that matters. We have to get this part right. And I think that's why people are always so like, oh, we've got to figure out the exact nitty-gritty details. Which as a player, great strategy. Absolutely do that as a player. But yeah, the organization piece when creating these events, whether it's time organization, graphic organization, Discord organization, create a Google file. Just create a shared folder with your boys and figure out whether it's a bingo or whatever it is. Just be organized about it,
Yeah.
It's probably, it's a big thing too.
So at the end of the day, the event is planned. It's going well. You're always going to have stuff that comes up middle of the week that like
every time.
Say you had a tile that nobody was going to, out of the gate do. And it's like the third day. And now we're starting to think about these harder tiles because all the easy ones are done. Sometimes exceptions have to be made. There was this is going to trigger Oxie, but we had a tile that simply said, "Kill the mimic," or something to that effect. And
I'm going to get more wine. Will you tell this story? Stupid God.
So
no, go ahead.
It was something to do with he's gone now. Basically it was like kill the mimic. Well, there were some teams who killed the mimic, but didn't get the screenshot that said something to the effect of like, you got the mimic. Most of the time when we ask players to do something, it's something that can be proven. We're not just going to say kill the mimic and that's it. We're going to ask you for a chat box message or a pop-up or a collection log screenshot.
Verifiable evidence.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
The thing is, the tile description wasn't vague. So what Michael's referring to in Skill Tree Bingo, if you were on C4, you remember this moment. Because if you were on C4, you remember this as the moment that sparked an undousable fire that made us put the pedal to the metal and we're one item away from blacking out that insane board. But the tile description was find and kill the mimic 2 times. Find and kill the mimic was the exact tile description. I know it because I wrote it. I also was on a team, myself and one other guy named God of Thunder. We found mimics and we submitted screenshots with finding mimics, but not killing mimics. And the other admins didn't like that very much at all. And that was annoying as shit because the 2 guys with scythes and infernal capes we could probably bet that they killed the mimic, right?
Right.
But it didn't follow the letter of the law, as it were. And those tiles had to be revoked. Dear God. That was a rough night for my team. After that, you guys shot down our mimics. We got 2 mimics, a Corp unique and a Zalcana unique, and finished the Void Waker in like 6 hours. We were so spiteful and so angry. We got like 100 points in 6 hours, dude. We were, oh God, that was such an insane night for my team. But, Tiki just said, I sensed us talking about bingo. I'm here now.
Welcome,
Soggy
Tiki.
Waffles says C4 never forgets Mimic Gate 2023. See, Soggy Waffles is on my team. Yeah, I mean, when it comes to rules, right? That is an example of a rule where, for at least our TNL bingos, the tile description is the tile description. If you submit something outside of what is asked that doesn't fulfill the description, it's not going to count, right? That's a firm rule that we have, right? It's fair to every other team that had to kill the Mimic that submitting a tile of just getting the Mimic isn't enough. I was a lot of pissed off because, again, Scythes and Infernal Capes. There was no reason why we wouldn't have killed the Mimics. But we didn't follow the rules. So, with that being said, we ended up, having to redo the tile.
Yeah. And that was I don't know, days?
God, that was
not days.
I feel like that was on
it
Thursday.
A day later?
No, that was on Thursday because that was the day I was supposed to go back home after my surgery. I brought all my stuff home. This is why, oh my God, the anger I felt that day. I brought all of my shit from my mom's house post-surgery in the car, including B. I brought everything, computer, all this other stuff, shower chair that I had. I packed up my cat and we put everything in the car, and I got to my orthopedic surgeon, and he's like, all right, I'm taking you out of the cast and I can put you in a boot. I still don't want you walking on it. I still don't want you driving. I still don't want you taking stairs. I was like, huh? He said, yeah, get comfy at mom's. And I had to go back to my mom's after having packed all my shit to move back to Mount Pleasant. I had to go back to my mom's house for 2 more weeks, right? To sit on my laptop because I couldn't get up and down the fucking stairs. What was I supposed to do?
Mm-hmm.
And that day was so annoying. And then, I remember being in the Meijer parking lot, picking up groceries to drive, now all the way back to my hometown instead of my apartment. Oh my God, I was so livid. I was absolutely fuming on the way home about the Mimics. I was literally texting my team, rallying for war. We were so pissed off that day. But I think when it comes to setting rules for your events, right? The 3 words I would keep in mind are firm, fair, and flexible. Which I know sounds like a contradiction to firm and fair, but I promise firm, fair, and flexible. And I say that because sometimes you're going to set a rule. What does he say? And fuck him. Hey, there, 4 F's. Firm, fair, flexible, and fuck them. Exactly. I told my bingo team.
We're not bleeping that. That's
the bingo. That's the unintentional one. Yeah. So the team I'm on right now, I said something. I'm like, yeah, for where I'm from, we just say fuck them when it comes to bingo. They're like, what does that have to do with anything? I'm like, fuck them. Figure it out. Fuck them. And Chaos Cleric says figuratively or literally. Depends on what team you're on, I guess. But yeah, I mean, the biggest thing, Michael, what's my biggest thing with bingo that drives me insane about screenshots? What's my biggest thing?
Not having the code word?
Code word is on screen and the drop is somewhere on screen. Not the item, the notification in the chat box.
Yeah.
That's all you need. We don't do RuneLite screenshots. We don't do loot trackers. We don't do any other random bullshit. If you want a before and after your collection log, it's a pain in the dick, but I'll accept it, but I'm not a huge fan of it. We have had to make dozens of exceptions.
Barrows is the worst.
Barrows is the worst. Every year, someone drops well, I didn't take a screenshot of the chest like I was supposed to. Does this valuable drop indicator count? And it's like, okay, your chest is worth 950K. Okay, so obviously there's a Barrows item in there because you're not going to get a mil worth of blood runes, but also there's no notification that says what Barrows item it is, even though you have a Darox Great Axe in your inventory. Holy shit, you're making me do it. You're making me want to beat my head against the wall, That's one that I personally would not accept. On the flip side, now that the clan chat has a drop notification thing on it, the amount of people who have said, yo, so and so fucked up their screenshot, but I have it correct and I have the clan system notification. We've had to be flexible and be like, okay, fine. You can't really argue with the clan system notification. I saw it too, right?
And they're on your team and they have the code word and that, we can prove that you didn't get this screenshot last week. You got it during the event.
Yeah. So that's what I mean by flexibility, right?
Firm, flexible. What was the other one?
Firm,
fair,
flexible.
frick 'em.
Fuck them. Exactly. And we don't mean fuck them in the mean sense, right? I guess that's because when we say that, people have recently... Well, people have misconstrued that as like we are really mean to our players and we want to see them suffer. Like, no. When we say like, oh, we're playing this tile, fuck them. We're gonna put this on the board. Who remembers the gout tuber tile from way back in the day? That was a fucking moment. Who remembers the unironic chompy bird tile? Fuck them. We're gonna put it on the board. Sometimes part of that firmness is like, you know what? I don't care if it says 950K in the thing. I know it's a Barrows drop. There's no notification. We ask you for one thing. If you can't give us that one thing, we ask him for that one. You can't give us that one thing. Fuck him. The tile does not count. Right?
Yeah.
That is where that, we normally say fuck him in bingo just because we're making fun tiles that we think people are going to be annoyed with, but we think they would be fun. But generally, it does not have to do with like a malicious thing. If you hear Michael or TMD or myself be like, fuck them. That's what we're doing. It's not meant to be a nasty ordeal.
It started as an inside joke and has become an outside joke now.
Yeah, that's exactly what's happened. Yeah.
But just know that like at the end of the day, you probably are going to have to double down on something or double back on something or make an in the moment call and just be prepared for it. No event, even if it's a skill of the week, it's not going to be perfect start to finish. Planning the event is not all that that's not the only thing you're going to have to do. Even if you are playing in the event, you're still going to have to participate in some sort of adminning mid event. We had we had a channel that only the planning committee was in for bingo, and that was the most active channel. Like that channel was more active than my team channel during bingo because there's just so many things that come up. Like I don't mind when people did this, but I was getting tagged in other people's drop channels being like, hey, can you just tell me if this is a good screenshot? Does this count? I love when people do that because then, we don't have to go back and like retroactively change something. But that could be something that you have people do is like you post your screenshot, the captains verify it. And if they have any questions, they ask you or they ask a member of like the senior team. Because like at the end of the day, the more eyes that see kind of where all the pieces are falling, it's just going to make it more smooth. I wanted to say, I have a point that I wanted to make way sooner, but I guess I can make it now. Don't be afraid to make events feel corporate in the sense that, you have structure, you want feedback, you have teams. We've kind of talked about these, like running a clan feels like a job in some senses. Like we have a pretty large Discord and we've had a full clan. So 500 people. And right now we're at 350. So it's not a small organization. Having 350 people all kind of wanting to do the same thing in the same place, that would be considered a fairly large company. So like running an event for that many people can feel kind of like this is your job, but I would say like lean into it is what I'm trying to say. Lean into it. Make it feel like there's structure. You can have structure without it being boring. We send out a feedback form at the end. That's something that I don't know if we did that from the beginning, but very, very early on, I think it was either TMD or Oxie would make like a Google form that just asked a bunch of questions. Like, what was your favorite tile? What was your least favorite tile? Did this event meet your expectations? what could we have done differently? What could we do that you liked? What did you not like? Things like that. And there was a lot of space for like free type where you could just type in an answer, but a lot of it was just like on a scale of 1 to 10. And that's free data that you can have for the next event. And you can say, man, 75% of the people who filled this out didn't like this tile. We're not going to put that on the board next time. Or we're going to try and change it up to make it better the next time. Because the way that we did it, it didn't land how we wanted it to. So having that structure feel more corporate can be a good thing. Lean into it. Because I found that it makes the planning process go a lot smoother if there's like well organized structure. I know we already covered that, but that was a point I wanted to make when we were talking about organization. I look over now at the recording booth and there's just like they're talking about labor laws and strikes. T said, "This is why the data team strikes." I'm gonna go back real quick to one thing that Chaos Cleric said. Said, "My favorite part of bingo is the people who want the board 24 hours in advance so they can try and find loopholes or things that they can gain advantage on so they can play less bingo during bingo." One thing that we have really tried to mitigate is how much bingo you can do before bingo actually starts. And so I don't know, like this last bingo was the first time that we allowed stacking, but then didn't have any stackable tiles.
And then took it way too far. So I suggested that we allow stacking in a fit of rage following the casket gate debacle of skill tree bingo. I said, "F these kids. I'm going to make stacking allowed. The only thing I'm going to have on the board is going to be 2 tiles. It's going to be earn the most hyper specific clue step possible from every tier of clue, and also gain 2 million rune crafting, fishing, and Wintertod XP, fire making XP, whatever it is. All one tile, both tiles will be worth 1 point because fuck you. That's why I was in such a bad mood when I posted that, and that got turned into like accidentally awarding teams like 37 free points from our clues or whatever. But if you're planning an event and people are passionate about it, people are going to try some shit, right? People are absolutely going to try some shit, but most people are not going to try some shit. I'll put it that way to you. Most people are not going to try some shit. Some people might, most people won't. So I'll just say that, if people are bringing up potential loopholes, if anything, they are pointing out the flaws in what you need to improve on for your next event, right?
Mm-hmm.
God damn, there was one bingo we did not terribly long ago where people kept asking whether or not dragon throne axes counted from Hydra. And it just didn't occur to us that Hydra dropped those. And we're like, are they a unique? And we debated on it for days. And we're like, no. And then people got super pissed off at us because they were counting throne axes as drops. Like, sometimes people are just going to like point stuff out and be loopholey. And it's not. And Tiki says, "Trust me, as a king of wanting to try shit, I help loophole check the board. Still annoyed White Mystic didn't count from Hydra. It was a Slayer monster, but it wasn't from the cave." I think that was our logic with that, is we wanted you to get it from the same cave. Yeah, but just because it was like, whatever. The semantics of that tile are not important, but people are going to try some shit, but I promise you most people are not. Most people are genuinely asking questions because there are things they have encountered in the past, right? I asked, you can put this in the episode or not, I don't really care. I asked several questions leading up to this bingo because, as I said, the rules were vague and unconvincing for a lot of their tiles and a lot of their stuff. I asked so many questions in general chat and pretty much got told to like shove it because like the rules weren't changing without answering any of my questions. And the organizers came to my team captain and was like, "Watch out for that Oxie guy. I think he's going to cheat. I think he's going to cheat because he's asking for ways on how to cheat in the bingo board." And the captain told me that the other day at VC. I was fucking cackling the other night, dude. They're like, oh yeah, no, so and so said like to watch out for you because they thought you were gonna cheat, and I was absolutely rolling. I'm like, dude, I tried to offer this guy so much help to plan this fucking event, and he just refused to take it, and then accused me of cheating. Jesus Christ!
Like, imagine somebody telling you that you, like, they've run X amount of events and they're trying to help you, and then you just think, oh no, like their intentions are not pure. Like, what?
Yeah, I know it's so dumb, but yeah, I promise you guys, people are gonna ask. It doesn't mean they're trying shit. You know,
That goes back to like the collective mind thing. Like, your idea of what is right and is like could work for a tile is not always going to be what is best. Because, like, again, we didn't know that Dragon Throne axes only come from Hydra or whatever it was. Like,
it's like we knew they came from Hydra, but we never thought to include it because we're like, oh, that's not a Hydra unique, and it turned into like quite the controversy, you know.
yeah,
But I think all said and done, you guys are capable of planning events. And while I will say, if you want to plan a bingo event, you better brace yourself for the amount of work that it takes. But if you want, like, doing it in smaller batches with smaller communities or stream communities or whoever, it doesn't have to be a TNL sized super event, right? Like, you guys have the capability to plan events. And the whole point of this episode was to, like, what can we do to sort of tell you guys about the things that we've learned over the years that would help you in your event planning in the future, you know?
yeah,
So hope y'all learned a thing or two.
for sure. At the end of the day, you may have a small percentage of the amount of people that we can get for an event. Because I think our last bingo was like at least 450.
There's so many
So if
people, dude.
if your small group of friends of 15 people, you know, you have 3 groups or 3 teams of 5 or 5 teams of 3, that's going to be a fun event because you can get wacky and you can get crazy, and like maybe all of the team captains help plan it, and then the 3 organizers are the team captains and they know everything about it, and then they kind of just like strategize with their teams, and the board is super small and you run it over a weekend and you buy each other beers or something. I don't know, like it can be whatever you want. That's the fun of what a bingo event is, because at the end of the day, like, it's a tile scavenger hunt. Make it wacky or just make it generic. Skill of the week is super easy.
Oh my god, skill of the week is so easy. Boss of the week is so easy. Wise Old Man, Temple Trackers, dude. Competitions on Wise Old Man or on Temple. They're developing vanilla settings for this. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Modelena is developing that. Like, I think they talked about it. I haven't read the new game jam that came out, but I heard there's some absolute heaters in there that I got to look at. But I chatted with Elena for a little bit on Twitter when that first kind of came out, and it looks pretty good. Like, a
lot of the stuff that we're talking about could be just like obsolete info once that.
Yeah, in a couple of years, like, don't get me wrong, their proposed like vanilla setting for bingo is not going to work at all. FFS Sam just got his 9th beaver pet at 180 million woodcutting XP. Get some help, dog. JK, love you. GL on 200 mil. But like, it's the potential for this to be in game, and all of this, like, oh, we have to track through Wise Old Man, and we have to do this, and we have to submit screenshots and do, like, you know, Tiki's talking about designing a bot that will read text and shit like that. Like, the amount of work we could save everyone if it just worked in game. Like, if there was like a subcategory of like, oh yeah, you've received an abyssal whip from an abyssal demon. Go check your board, and it's checked off. The abyssal whip tile is done. Oh my god. It's not going to work for what we want to do for a while, but wow, it could work really well.
Yeah, for just like a stock standard 5x5, get a drop, call it a day. It's going to be very easy. And I feel like that kind of event could be run more often because a lot of the admin work is taken out of it. You know, you could do a small monthly bingo between your group of 15 friends and changed it up ever so slightly, where you have 25 drops that are this month, but then the next month they're different. And
oh my god, you rip
we
a
had
4x4
9x9.
monthly bingo? Oh, that'd be great.
Didn't we do a 9x9?
It was like a
8x8?
6. It was like a 6x12 or something like that.
Okay, so that's a lot of tiles. So if you break that up between a couple of different months, you could have different tiles every month. The possibilities are endless. They're not actually endless. Like there's not an infinite amount of things that you can get in this game, but you can do a lot. You can do a lot. Any final thoughts on event planning?
Just try it.
Just give it a try.
I'll shoot down your aspirations right now. We're probably not looking for a ton of help with fall bingo, mainly because we are in the process of uprooting and redesigning the way our clan works. Not like we're not making it like a PVM clan or anything like that. We're just like, we had some admins leave after Springo, which again, like we said, no bad blood, hoping they're happy in the new organization, new clan, whatever they're doing. But it's forced us to like reassess how we're doing things. And until that is figured out, we're going to be okay. Tiki says that he also bites and we can't have too many people around him till he's had his shots, which is also correct. Take it from me as the guy who polices the data team basement. He absolutely does bite. He bites, and Rune Guy is just way too sassy for his own good. So, like you got to be a trained handler. It's like at the zoo when you can't work with like the large predators when you first start working there. That's kind of what bingo planning is like. Like you got to be around for a couple of seasons before we let you down into the data team basement, or else they're gonna do something. Or else they're gonna attack you if you're not paying attention.
Oh man, my final thought is try and find people who know how to do stuff that you don't know how to do and work together. Like we didn't have people that knew how to code and make bots until Tiki and the data team was formed. Like there's people who can do stuff with spreadsheets that I never thought was possible. And that's just like my world has been kind of expanded in that. So find people who are good at stuff that you're not good at and form a team and plan a good event because it's going to be fun. And let us know. Like, I want to see your guys' bingo boards. I want to see just as much as I will send you inspirational pictures of the boards that I've made. Like, send me yours. I want to see the stuff that you guys have put on and like, and if you have like a summary of all the fun things that happened during your bingo, let us know. Drop it in the comments or DM us on Instagram or whatever. I just want to know about these things because we're passionate about planning events. And it's kind of like, other than running the podcast and doing things for the podcast and like the nitty gritties of the clan, running events is the highlight of the position that we're in right now. And so it's fun to hear what other clans are doing with the game that we all love and play. So that's going to do it for this portion of the episode. Stick around after the commercial. We'll have the community section. But yeah, enjoy this recycled commercial.
Yeah.
Howdy folks, my name's Prospector Percy and we're looking for some fine young adventurers who want to hone and grind their skills. Now if this sounds like you, then you gotta come on down to Motherlode Mine. Down here we got everything you need to train up them gathering and artisan skills. We got hammers, we got pickaxes, we got dwarves, we got other adventurers, we got a bank and we got some baby moles. We've even got Grandma! Howdy Grandma! Howdy Percy! You probably gonna come on down here looking for ores, let me tell you, we got all sorts. We got coal, we got gold, we got mithril, we got adamantite, and even runite. And where do all them there ores come from? Say it with me, fellas. Pay dirt! That's right, folks, them there walls are lined with pay dirt. Mine a bag full and toss them on the conveyor belt. Watch it go down the water. Say hi to the baby mole for me. Once it hits the sack, go mine some more. Load your pay dirt on till the bag is full and fix that dang wheel. When your sack is all full and you're picking through them rocks, you might find some of them there gold nuggets. I'll take them off your hands for all sorts of goodies like bags of gems and bags for coal and bags for more pay dirt. I've even got some fancy mining clothes because who doesn't love a fishing fashion skate? Cart your way down to Fallador to the Mudlode Mine just next to the mining guild to make all your pay dirt dreams come true.
Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that commercial break. I sure did. It is time now that we spend some time talking about the time that we have with our patrons and the support that they give us each and every week. This time, we're going to talk about the Wise Old Man patrons. We have 3 new Wise Old Man patrons since the last time we recorded. So big shout out to CMAC04, Rummy Tumbles, and Rack Roll for being our newest Wise Old Man patrons this week. And on the screen now is our current Wise Old Man patrons, who are all so very cool and give us money and listen to us in the recording booth chat, because that is the best benefit that you can have when you sign up for the Wise Old Man tier, is access to the recording booth. And sometimes we'll even say things like, and such said such and such. Like, you get unintentionally shouted out like Tiki does every single episode, because he just yaps the whole time. And it's great. So join the Wise Old Man tier and have your name shouted out the first time that you join, and your name is on the screen. Moving on over now to the KBD tier of folks. These are the folks who get their name shouted out no matter what. If their name is something crazy, like they've gone and edited it, they're going to get it read out. Sometimes it's weird. We're not doing that. But we're going to start out with the top of the list, giving a huge shout out to Apathy, Boston Sport 5, Brooks 70, Chaos Clerics, Emporium for Exotic Snuggles. Okay. Oxie's dad, my dad, all of our dad, Cloud Kicker, Corpse Fiance, Damon S, Dicky Bird, Elite Oreo Dunker, our third favorite Patreon supporter, Ralph, Run Metal 15, Satan Bot Loves Oxy Always 666, Soggy Waffles, Seppi J, Sparky Life, Swole's collection of OSRS Boss Feats picks, the Big G Jordy, the Cradle of Tallymorn, and War Batoning. I think we're saying that right. War Batroning. There's an R in there. Anyway, thank you so much to all the folks in the KBD tier. You guys are amazing. You are the peanut butter to our jelly. You are the beanie to our emo chick. We love you so much, and we appreciate your support. If you want to join all these folks and what they do in supporting the show, you can head on over to patreon.com/Xpwaste. We have tiers available for you starting at $1, and they go all the way to $25. One that doesn't get talked about enough is the Party Pete tier. And once per month, we have a patron-only live stream that's happening July 19th. Oxy won't actually be here, so probably just going to be me doing something. We'll figure that out. Maybe we'll do like a community night where we all send a raid or something and just hang out. But it's a time that you guys can watch Oxy and I do something that's potentially maybe not even RuneScape related. Like, I think in May we played Minecraft for like 4 hours and didn't get any sort of progress done on that server. So fun stuff. So that's the Party Pete tier. Shout out to them children. You guys are amazing. Patreon.com/XPWaste. Ka-chow. Moving on over now to the community question section. Last week, we asked you guys, what is your favorite chill skilling method? And we have quite a few responses. So we're going to get to these. Starting with air quotes. They say, believe it or not, lamping herblore can be pretty chill. Excuse me?
What a man. He said the chillest way to do it is to fucking lamp it. What a man.
I did not expect that one. Chris Y says, catching lobbies in Catherby, great scenery and chill location, even though you do end up moving often with some nostalgia for me.
The fishing track is one of my favorite tracks in the game, so absolutely A+ recommendation.
I mean, if you're not catching lobsters in Catherby, what are you doing? Are you catching them in Karamja? Because that's probably the second most nostalgic place.
That's like the true nostalgic place, I think, for people is Karamja. But yeah, I don't know.
She says, I like making plinks for GP and Mage XP as a walk-away training. Use headphones for audio cue to click, and flesh crawlers are decent for Renars and combat XP. I mean, like having game sounds to tell you when you stop doing something, that's next level AFK. Because there's not, I mean, you can apply that to anything, like making unfinished bows or whatever, unstrung bows, little anyway, I guess just utilize game sounds more.
If you also have the option, on your computer, turn the RuneLight notifier on so it gives you a desktop notification when you're AFK. If you have like wireless headphones and you get up and walk away, that's also helpful.
There you go. One thing that I would do if I'm doing skilling while working is it's like in the RuneLight settings, it's idle notifier, and you can make your screen flash when you stop doing something. So like if you're mining, wood cutting, whatever, fishing, if your character just goes idle, you can make your screen flash so that you look over and you can restart whatever you're doing. It's pretty handy. Next up, Seymour says, auto-casting plank make on mahogany logs. It's 1.5 minutes of downtime between bank and cast, and it's good money for mains and supplies for irons and magic XP for all. Plus, you can get the logs from Miscellanea. Technically not free, but also low-cost input. I'm guessing it's profitable.
I think you profit from it.
Yeah. Like with the purchase of the log and the runes. And you actually have to have money for plank make. It's kind of, at the end of the day, it's one of those like, I know why they do it, but it feels really silly to require GP to cast a spell. But you have to have it. Otherwise, people would not do Sawmill. Tuhi says, star mining, baby. But also, NMZ is cracked for AFKing on mobile at work. Just makes Slayer level look dodgy. Yeah, if you're in max combats and you're like 45 Slayer, I have lots of questions. So many questions. DJ says, I thought Oxie's MLM opinion was wild until I heard Michael's agility opinion.
Thank you.
Also, Zaya Bloods. Listen.
Good answer. Good answer.
You didn't have a newborn baby and tens of hours a day to just click the same 5 spots on your iPad like I did. So my opinion,
I get it.
It's irrelevant to you if that's not your experience.
I get such a weird way to word that, I guess. I don't know.
Moishan says, AFK Slayer tasks are always nice. Farming is the most chill skill in the game. By far my favorite skill. And a decent passive moneymaker with herb runs. Do your herb runs. It takes 5 minutes. Also, reminder, go do your herb run and your birdhouse run. Fizzman15 says, love me some bank scanning skills like glass blowing or fletching bows. A lot of the times, the materials gather themselves, like logs from kingdoms. And then I can get set up in front of the TV. That's my go-to. It's just like on my iPad watching TV, or I don't know, like being in VC kind of helps take the time pass away too.
I think
just like talking to people, hanging out,
playing in this bingo. It's like I've had like a weird revelation with it the other day. Because remember earlier in the episode, I talked about all the Zulrah that I did.
Yeah.
And it was a weird, like, oh my God. I feel like, Danny DeVito, like, oh my God, I get it. Like, I remember. I was able to do that much Zulrah because I was in VC with people the entire time. Just easy 7-way at Zulrah. I was doing the Narda altar. So Narda altar and then use the scroll back to Zulrah.
Mm-hmm.
I did that all the time. Getting like 30 kill trips before I had to bank or whatever. Like, it was crazy. I just did it so fast. And we've been preaching that for so long on this show. And for so long, I have not done that. Because like, I have to focus on this. And if I get into VC, people will want to raid or do whatever. And like, I have to skill and do that. And then I have inadvertently neglected that piece of skilling and also that piece of the community. And literally I was hit like a truck the other day. I'm like, oh my God, it was the VC. That's why I was able to kill so much Zulrah. The best meta for skilling is to fucking do it with other people in a voice call. So you are absolutely 100 bajillion% correct. Get in a voice call.
I think that's just like the meta for this game in general is have friends, be a part of a community.
Even if you're a stinky Iron Man, the game rules don't say you can't join voice call and stand alone with a bunch of other people around you. Oh my god. It's
you can stand alone and have people watch you. Yeah, because like if you're comfortable with talking to people, even if you're not, like if the conversation is good and there's somebody streaming what they're doing, you're generally going to be able to have a good time. This is not a plug for the Discord just yet. That'll come in the next section. But moving on, Buddy Time says Karambwans with barrel is definitely my favorite. I do it while I play other games that require fairly intense focus. Currently at 50,000 fished, and I have 50K to go before I can swap to anglers till 99. Holy smokes, 100,000 anglers? 100,000 Karambwans? I think I have to catch like 40 or 50,000 for 99 cooking. So that'll be me one day. I should probably get on that. I don't need to be chopping redwoods. Anyway, Robert Shifley says pickpocketing in Varlamore is great. Just wait until the kids distract the wealthy citizens and click. Then just sit back and wait for the next chance. Bonus XP if you hit the gem stalls between. This is like the 5th time this week that I've seen somebody talk about the Varlamore thieving and how it's AFK. And I can't wrap my brain around AFK thieving. Like it's a new concept since Varlamore came out. So I have to try it. That's
because we're boomers, Michael. I genuinely think it's like you convince a kid to distract a noble person, and then the noble person, you can pickpocket them with like trickster levels of AFK for like 30-ish seconds. And then once that 30 seconds is over, they'll hit you with the core blimey, mate, and then you just have to do it again. So
gotta give it a try.
I've heard it's real good, but I don't know.
But you don't get a Pharaoh Scepter out of it. That's the only problem. That's all I want is just a Pharaoh Scepter, man. Anyway, Swole says bursting and chinning is always a good time apart from the initial run. Other than that, just Woodcutting Guild for the AFK and the plus 10 boost, or the classic Cooking Sharks and Karambwans. If you guys have the Myth Guild unlocked, cooking at Myth Guild is like probably the best place in the game to do it. And I'm considering, I mean, I am going to do Dragon Slayer too, but I'm considering calling it the cooking method at the Myths Guild quest just because it's that good. It's that good. Next up, Tej the Ledge says, not sure why, but I enjoy AFK monk fishing and seeing people complete Swan Song and hard clues along the way. That is one of those interesting ones where like you're in an instance until you finish the quest and then you just kind of appear. So it's fun.
It's great when you see the people who just finished the quest like spawn right behind you. You're like, oh,
Bing.
Welcome back to the real world.
It's fun. Rummy Tumbles says Teletabs was my go-to money and magic XP early on in my account. It helped communications prerequisites pass fast. It's still something that you can do. Like, and I think you get over a minute of AFK time for making teleport tablets. And some of those are very profitable. Like the obscure ones that nobody wants to make. I think if you do it in Zaya, those are the more profitable ones versus doing it in your house. But you can make a lot of money. And it's magic XP. Like So Smooth says, favorite chill skill is woodcutting by far. But shout out to Camtorum Mining. Also, wait, Michael, just now experienced humidity plus heat glasses syndrome? But I thought Texas was so hot. I'm confused. I just now experienced it because this is the first summer that I've had glasses. Yeah, I got glasses in December. So yes, this is the first time that I've experienced the fogging of the glasses.
He tried to hit you with the actually, and then you pulled the Uno reverse on his ass real quick.
D4 Drake says, stars, rune dag. Sorry.
Bro, just say rune drag. Hey, yo, I'm sold.
Rundag, Barbfish, Angler, Todd, Winter, Redwood, Herbs, Roof, Bruise, PP, Black Vam, Black Long U, Rumors, NMZ, Zaya, RCing, Mahogany Homes. That's the whole list. All of them.
Oh. Oh.
Thank you, D4
Oh.
Drake. These will all be published, so if you want to like reference his exhaustive list, it'll be on Spotify. Skill and Gain says, okay, let's get you to bed, Grandpa Oxy. MLM is S tier. Crabs are S tier. Yeah. There's going to be a lot of people calling Oxy out. Just pre-warning you guys. MLM is not F tier, but we conceded for
F tier
reasons.
F tier skilling mini game. You are.
It's not a skilling mini game. It's a skilling method.
It should be a skilling deleted. What it should be.
Moving on. Mr. Alex says, I enjoyed making Dragonstone bracelets. They get about 90k XP per hour and between 300 or 400k an hour profit. Very chillaxing. Got me roughly 40 mil from 90 to 99. Oh my gosh. I don't know if that method is still viable as far as profit, but holy smokes. You profited 40 million GP from 90 to 99 crafting? That's bonkers. Or is that smithing? I think it's crafting. It might be smithing. Who knows?
It's crafting.
Preston says, Zaya rune crafting, by far one of the best, chillest methods in the game. Second would be amethyst mining since the new update. As always, keep up the good work, you kings. Heart emoji, thank you, Preston. Yes, Zaya is it's very good. And I'm looking at my account. Like, I actually thought this today. Looking at my account, I'm like, why don't I have 77 rune crafting? I would rather be making blood runes than chopping and dropping teaks right now. I think that would be much more fun. But once I get to 90 wood cutting, I think I'm going to shift my focus to rune crafting so that I can get 77 rune crafting, and then I can make that another chill AFK skilling method. Daniel says, hey guys, Danicus here, aka Oxy's British soulmate. Woodcutting is the one. Redwoods are just far too chill and AFK to say otherwise. Love the pod. Makes Thursdays just that much better. TY, ooh woo, sweet. I love it when people do the ooh woos. It's so good. Hey, and he's your British soulmate. Gnapes says, or is that just Napes? Because the G is silent. Gnape says, Michael, try out the 5-to-1 method. I did 500 KC with literally camping mage and keeping Hunlift off, protect from mage. It's crazy high DPS for low combat stats. I think I have 75 range, 82 mage, and 70 defense. I seriously want to try out the 5-to-1 in CG. I'm going to do extensive research because it's not the first time I've heard.
Practice it in the regular gauntlet. Because if you mess up the 5-to-1 and you go in there with like your stick, another shitty weapon, and your perfected weapon, and you mess it up, and you have to beat Hunlift to death with like just a regular crystal bow. Oh man.
Oh yeah, I'll definitely try it out in the regular, but 5-to-1 seems very viable. The Cleaner, aka Toddy, says 3-tick chins and watching stuff on the side is my chill. As an endgame iron, cannonballs are 100% needed.
Thank you, Toddy. Thank you, Toddy. That's all I needed.
That's all he needed. But 3-ticking chin, how can we take his word for it when he says 3-ticking chins is chill?
So the one thing I'll say about that, we talk about,
he's a gamer.
He is a gamer. I think the beauty of 3-ticking, it feels like a really good rhythm where you can do it for a while. Like, it's a very sweaty method, right? Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying like this is, everyone should be AFKing by like 3-ticking fucking whatever. But once you get into that rhythm of like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, you don't even need to look, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can just keep that up. So while Toddy, you and I got very different definitions of what is chill, Yeah, I can see it. I understand it. I don't know if I agree with it, but I understand it.
I think that things that like are click intensive but rhythmic can be chill. To me, like sweaty construction was chill because it was rhythmic and you didn't have to put a lot of thought into like where am I clicking. If you can do something in the game where like screen markers come into play, it just makes it chill.
Mm-hmm.
And finally on Spotify, Daniel says lapse of the Falador agility course. Motherlode Mine is a close second. Otherwise, air runes are always really fun. Also, yew trees near the GE are also really good money maker and an absolute blast. Daniel, I, for the life of me, cannot tell if you are just trying to make Oxy throw up in his mouth or if that was a real statement, because Falador agility and MLM are two of Oxy's least favorite things in this entire world. And making air runes? This guy's got to be Falador locked or something. I need to know, Daniel. I need to know. Please let me know. Moving on now to our YouTube replies. We asked you guys the same question. What is your favorite AFK chill skilling method? Toast No Toast says, recently acquired blood rune crafting as my favorite method after hitting 77. Telling you, you're going to miss rune crafting. You're going to miss rune crafting. In the perspective of like agility and mining, people think rune crafting is the worst, but it literally is not. If you just lock yourself to Zaya for a month and a half and play 10 hours a day, you'll do it. You'll get her done. It'd be good.
What in the name of unhealthy ass skilling methods was that suggestion? What in the world?
RuneGaz says AFK Baronite mining. LOL.
Good God.
That was that was what I did when I had paternity leave. I just didn't leave Zaya and I played for 10 hours a day and I got rune crafting done in a month and a half. It's one of those things that you can't relate to because you don't have a child and you don't have an iPad and you don't have my TV. So get over it. Clay Kicker says Amethyst mining, blood runes, runite dragons, brutal black dragons, cannonballs, NMZ, moons of peril, AFK. There's a lot of AFK scape, best escape. I wasn't trying to be mean. I do apologize. Came off a little bit rude.
I don't think it's rude. I just think it's whack. That's all I'm saying.
It is pretty whack. It's the shock factor, Oxy. It is the shock factor. Gangly Goat says, firstly, MLM does not belong in a chilling. Okay, hold on. I think this is Oxy's alt account. Firstly, MLM does not belong in a chill skilling method. And honestly, it doesn't belong in the game. It's the most dog water training method in the game. And it's about as AFK. It's AFK for about 5 seconds, like Rooftops, which also has no place on a chill skilling tier list. AFK Crabs is also dog water. You get very minimal XP per hour for 0 return and idiot/bot farms that crash you. At least with things like Gargoyles and Firewatch Sentinels, you get money as well as good XP. The best chill training skilling method, in my opinion, is making magic longbows unstrung. About 1 minute per inventory, 90k per hour, and you profit. Closely followed by calcified deposits mining in Camtorm. Oxy, why did you leave a comment on your alt account?
Good answer.
Why did you leave a comment on your alt account? That's not fair.
It's not my alt account, but damn, that is a good answer.
I do want to follow up that absolutely crazy take with the fact that you said Camtorm mining at the end is bonkers, because in my humble, very experienced opinion, Camtorm mining is as AFK as MLM. So like, I don't understand how the two are different. AFK. It's like, it's about the same. The deposits in Camtorm last about as much as the nodes do in MLM. And that's from my very humble, personal, very experienced opinion. I've done so much mining, Oxy. You can't even fathom the amount of mining XP I have.
I can fathom it, Michael. I can fathom it very
I think it would literally kill you.
And it all sucks.
If you tried to fathom it. I almost have 99 mining on 2 accounts.
And only 7 chambers of Zarek KC across both of them. Hey-o.
That was uncalled for. We're moving on. Other Fire Angel says forestry is pretty chill. I got gifted a dragon axe recently, and I've been vibing at Sears Maples ever since. The key is to only do the events when you can be bothered to do them. That's the problem, Other Fire Angel, is I always can't be bothered to do them, but I want to do them because I feel like I'm missing out. So that's the problem. That's the problem with forestry. Although, like, getting the bonus XP from the events is nice. Like, they're not just distractions that don't award you. Like, they do reward you. You get better XP per hour when you do the events. We're closing in on the end, and with our final response that I'm going to read today, Soggy Waffle says, I fell in love with Herbivore the second I unlocked it. Throw on a show, gear up, and ship out to Fossil Island for content that's decently engaging, yet doesn't require total focus. Plus, it's great XP, a chance to get a pet, and money to boot. Bank standing skills are up there as a close second. I hella agree with you, and I think I may be biased because I mentioned this before, but I did my Herbivore grind directly, like the day I started it, the day I got 99 agility. So going from like a measly 50k an hour to a humble 120k an hour with the same amount of focus was like mind-blowing to me, and I loved every second of my Herbivore grind from 85 to 99. I did like completely in about a week at Herbivore. It was good times. That's going to do it for this fun question. If you guys are still here, thank you so much for sticking around. This week's question is going to be, what is your worst, absolute worst bingo tile idea that you can come up with? I don't care if it's bad. I want to know it. Tell me right now. You can answer that in the community question section on Spotify or the pinned comment of this YouTube video. I'm going to go drink a gallon of water because my mouth is dry as a desert and pass it over to Oxie for this week's combat achievement section. Almost forgot I did forget it. It's achievement of the week. It's not combat achievement.
I was going to say, there's no way my man disrespected achievement of the week and called it the wrong thing. Good God. Michael is right, folks. It's time to get into the combat achievement section where people do stuff. Achievement of the week is what it's called. This is a segment of the show where we highlight your achievements that you post in the Discord that we think are cool. And it's not that, whatever. They're the achievements we shout out. We want to appreciate you guys for them. So, kicking us off in the rather stacked miscellaneous category this week. Right? We don't see this very often. This week, OG Bunks got their quest cape. Binding Bink, Bowmanator, and Infamous Boy all got their diary capes. And Smiley Prophet and Pork Jerry both got their music capes this week. The last miscellaneous achievement that we shout out, just because it's unique and kind of fun, Ogiegi, the name I still don't know how to pronounce properly, got their 15-year cape in RS3. So
whoa,
that's an old ass account right there. It's an old ass account. Moving on over to the skilling category this week, 99 Achilles achieved 99 cooking. 99 Cum achieved 99 rune crafting. I almost said another 99. There's no more 99 people.
Dang, Brooks.
Danish Deity achieved 99 farming. KCT achieved 99 range. Mr. Blossom achieved 99 mage. Narad 21 achieved 99 mage as well. Dean achieved 99 mining and 2200 total. Fuck you, Dean. Gowerly achieved 99 range. My boy Jack and Clubs achieved 99 magic and 99 range. Shinkiro achieved 99 woodcutting. Indoor Kite achieved 99 fishing, closing in on the maxing grind. Wheat Toast achieved 99 mage. Bob Dole achieved 99 prayer. Gay Raccoon achieved 99 farming. Wukong Rambo and 99-inch Wonder achieved 2k total level. And Tiki Mug almost got out of it early last week, but he did in fact achieve 2200 total level last week. We do have another kind of skilling achievement, just because I thought It was great. I gotta go to levels and achievements because at one point I didn't even think it was real. At one point, I gotta see where he posted it. That's 1, 2, 3. Oh, yeah. Is that 1.5 billion? Is that the math? Is that how that works? Furry Wall obtained 1.5 billion total XP.
Billion.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
That's a lot of damn experience points. But yeah, that is the skilling section. And now onto the combat section to wrap things up this week. We have 4 first fire capes. 4 of them, folks. 4 of them. I think maybe 3 of them, because honestly, looking at achievement of the week and typing in the wrong section, Moisty Legs did not get their fire cape. Moisty Legs got their quest cape, and I'm a mumpty ass, and I put it in the wrong segment. So Moisty Legs got a quest cape, not a fire cape. Don't you worry, Moisty Legs. I'm looking out for you. I got you. I'm gonna make sure you don't get no incorrect shout outs this week. But we have 3 first fire capes then. One Tick Beers, Monkey Bonana, and Bull all got their first fire capes this week. In addition to firsts, Jaw Dead, aka Jaw Hunlith, aka Jaw Prith, aka Jaw Enhanced When, completed the gauntlet for the first time. And Emerald N and Ebu, surprisingly enough, completed the corrupted gauntlet for the first time. Ebu is a gamer, so I definitely thought Ebu already had a KC, but sure enough, first corrupted gauntlet KC. In the combat achievements portion of the combat achievements section of Achievement of the Week, Wukong Rambo completed the hard combat achievements, while Strom completed the elite combat achievements. As far as fancy kits are concerned this week, Group Dingo achieved a Missouri kit. Ebu once again coming in this week with a fancy backpack upgrade by getting his quiver. Finally got the quiver. Huge for the account. And then, as always, there's one achievement we always save for the end of the combat achievement section. So without further ado, Nuke Moose, Fish, and Achilles all got their Infernal Capes this week. Didn't I say last week how people watched them make that progress? They all got their Infernal Capes. Achilles actually went back and got it on his main, too. He said, dude, now that I did it on the iron, I went back and I did it on the main like the next day, and it's a game changer using a twisted bow. It feels so much nicer than the iron setup that he was working with. But yeah, that's good. That's good. Very proud of you boys. The grind is over. You've experienced the nightmares, and it's good to see our community getting so much better over time. Like, I don't know how, like looking back, when I got my first Infernal Cape, I feel like I was one of the few, the proud, who was actually going for it and was like consistently sending attempts, because either you had it or you didn't. It wasn't like people were trying left and right. Like, I was going for it, and some people were flirting with the idea of going for it. Now, it's like people will go for it, and because our community has gotten so much better, we've got so many more capes, we have so many more total levels, we have so much more experience here, that now when people start the grind for the first time, there's a lot more confidence, there's a lot more support, there's a lot more help that people can give, having done the content themselves, right? So you're not just relying on like 1 or 2 people to give you pointers, right? It's so cool to watch these people get their capes in like a month or 2 months or something like that, knowing it took me 14 fucking months to get mine. Like,
You know why?
why?
Because they're doing it at the appropriate time. Like, I think you killed Zulrah, and then you did Vorkath, and you're like, you know what? It's time for the Inferno.
No, that is not how that went. It is not how that went. I started it in sometime in 2021, I think. I started maybe mid 2021. There's a tweet on my Twitter account somewhere of like, I got to wave 40 and the Inferno feels super obtainable. I didn't know what a fucking tick was. But at the same time, the Inferno helped me gain that skill set. So it's just been super cool to watch people, do that. And as much as I shit all over the raid because it is very, very stinky, I think TOA has helped with that a lot, because it has incrementally taught people to push content harder and harder and harder. I think TOA is a big part of that wave because Chambers is too big to do by yourself if you don't know how to do it. And Theater of Blood will beat you like a redheaded stepchild, even if you know what you're doing in there. So like the gatekeepiness at that raid was real bad for a while. And the raid is stinky, and I make fun of TOA money all the time. But if it hasn't taught this game's community how to do content at a much more balanced pace, I don't know what has. So, and I think that reflects in the amount of infernal capes that we see in this community, like Moose and Fish and Achilles, who all got their capes after several attempts. Very proud of you, boys. Yeah, you're free. Yeah, we've been saying it for months with every cape, but now you understand it doesn't matter anymore. You're free. You can do the Inferno a million more times, die a million more times. You got one, baby. That's all that matters. If you did something awesome and you want to tell us about it, head over to discord.gg/OSRSTNL. Post your achievements in the Levels and Achievements channel. We don't care what it is. It can be a 99. It can be an Infernal cape. It can be a music cape. It can be base 60s. It can be, hey guys, I got a green stack of Teku salamanders because I, love Hunter. It could be it could be whatever thing you find to be an achievement. But if you want it shouted out, go ahead and post it in there, and then we will go through and pick it out if it's one of the things that we shout out on the show. And as always, we're super active Discord. We got a whole chat going right now. Sunday afternoon, the Sunday squad, they're out there raiding, bossing, skilling, doing what they got to do. So get out there and get in here, rather, I should say, and come hang out in objectively the best RuneScape Discord in the world. It is almost time for us to wrap up our endeavors here on the Xpwaste podcast, episode 157. So therefore, I'm going to send it over to my boy Michael. I'm going to say, Michael, my friend, do you have a fun question for us this week?
I do. We're slowly getting through the backlog. That is our fun questions section on Discord. And this is another one from Dinosaur, one of our very reliable fun question askers in Discord. They said, with Deadman Armageddon approaching and bringing new ornament kits with it, what are a handful of items that you would add kits for? He says, I would personally love a kit that turns the Tumeken's shadow silver and blue, like this Reddit's concept from years ago. And the picture's on the screen now. Basically, it looks cool. It's like a blue and silver.
The Tumeken's Eclipse design.
Yeah, the Eclipse.
Yeah,
it's really neat, dude. There are so many items that I like. Literally, you can add an ornament kit to anything. Oh man, okay. Anything on top of your head? Anything you can think of that doesn't already have?
Just because I'm doing the content right now, because it is genuinely the most AFK thing on the board. Transmog for the Barrows items to make them look like the pink ghosts.
Yes.
So like if you equip a full set of whatever without the weapon, you can transmog yourself to look like the old primitive ghost or what have you. Like that would be pretty cool.
That would be neat.
That would be pretty cool.
Ooh. What if they had a transmog for the fire cape in the infernal cape that wasn't attaching it to a max?
I was gonna say they have one. It's called the fire cape. They have one. It's called the infernal cape.
No, but I mean like the fire cape separate from the infernal cape. Like if you could, I don't know if you would want to make it look cooler. Like you can't make the fire cape look cooler than the actual unornamented infernal cape, right? Because then people would just get a fire cape.
You can. You want to know how you do that?
Oh my gosh. Never mind. We can't touch the fire cape and infernal cape. Oxy's too sensitive.
It's not, look, I think you're cooking with something here, but you're like, well, we can't, like, how do we make the fire cape look cooler? I'm like, simple. Just get an infernal cape.
Make Infernal Cape read the current USD price in lava? Oh my gosh. Evil on Olive, of all the suggestions on my Christian Minecraft server, cheating and reward trading is not one of them. The Moons of Peril, they could add so many cool ornament kits to all that armor. And it's new too, right? So like it doesn't technically need it, but it is the newest of all of the items that we've gotten recently. And it could come from clues. I think that there should be, because you think about things that already have ornament kits, right? Like all the Zenite jewelry has it, Slayer helms have it, but sometimes they just make one transmog and they're done. Like there's no other Zenite ornament kit jewelry stuff. Like there's just the ones from clues and that's it. But I think there should be more, you know? Like I want a Ring of Suffering ornament kit that makes it look like your hand is like glowing or something, or like you have something around your hand that says you're wearing the ring. Like that would be cool. Or man, there's just, this question is so broad. I like yours though. Because I think we've talked about,
I think, because you brought up jewelry, the goddamn Blood Fury needs one. Let us use the Fury ornament kit on the Blood Fury and give us a cool design, because the Fury ornament kit is sick as fuck. But I don't think you can use it with a Blood Fury. Give the Blood Fury its own ornament kit, because that would look dope. A Blood Fury would look dope. I know they mentioned it in the game jam, which again, I haven't read, so I don't know entirely, but I've seen snippets of it on Twitter. I believe it was Mod Jerv has pitched some new house redesign ideas. Like,
yeah,
you know, they have like the Hasidius wall kit and stuff like that. She's pitched some new ones, which I think are cool. But honestly, do you remember way back in the day when they were pitching the clan hall shit? And they're like, what theme do we give the clan hall? That's what we need. We need the clan hall transmog. And hear me out, it's a gold sync. And it requires you can get 4 different options. You can get 4 options. You can get crystalline, you can get sanguine, you can get Xerxian, and you can get desert. In order to do that, you need, for crystalline, a weapon, armor, an enhanced weapon seed, and a crystal tool seed deposited into the coffer to unlock it. You need the entire Theater of Blood completion or collection log, the entire Chambers of Zarek collection log, minus the capes and shit, and the entire Tombs of Amasket collection log, respectively, to unlock the 3 Clan Hall transmogs. And it can be like a thing. Like clan members would donate items. Like, hey, I just got a fang. Let's put this in the thing for whatever. And then you guys can like pitch in and buy a shadow or something for whatever. I feel like the mega rares are a bit excessive and obviously a little bit harder to do. But I think clan halls as a aesthetic flex go so insanely hard. You rock up to somebody's clan hall and they've got the sanguine hard mode Tob kit on there, and you just know, like, oh shit, dude, these guys, this clan's legit, you know? That's cool. That's super cool.
I wish that clan hall was not dead content. Like, it's a cool place to do your bank standing skills, and it's fun to have like a party there once in a blue moon, but I don't go to the clan hall every day. And I don't really want to have to go every day. Like, you know, you talk about like daily stuff with RS3 to maintain. What is that called?
That was years ago, though. They're like clan whatever. I don't think I've been there. They're Citadel. I don't think I've done that in
you don't have
years.
to
I
do
couldn't
that
tell
anymore?
you if that's even exactly the same. You know?
But anyway, I just think that they had so much potential with the clan hall, and it's kind of fallen short. But I like your idea. It would be bonkers to see somebody with like a shadow and they just put it in a coffer and it's gone forever. That's it's a different tax bracket.
It'd be one hell of a way to sync some of these items, man. I'm just saying. It'd be
definitely
one hell of a
would.
way to sync some of these items.
It would.
It would desperately help TOA. It would desperately help TOA's super inflated values of their purples or whatever, or their deflated values rather.
Well, we talked about a while ago on the show the idea of like an armor hall where not only is it a theme, but you have like a special room that can get decked out with people donating certain armor kits. And so you could have like a full Torva armor stand, but it's only there if somebody donates Torva or like makes it to where it's now a cosmetic item. You can't retrieve it again. And it would have like a scythe, and it would have like somebody with max mage and max melee and max range. And then if something new comes out, then they add a new armor stand. But it's a way that people can donate, but also you get those items out of the game.
Dude, that would be okay. Picture the museum fossil displays, right?
Mm-hmm.
The museum fossil displays, but with these items, right? So let's say there's a large boss display, and you want to go for the infernal option. You need to donate 10 infernal capes to it, and every time you donate an infernal cape, it gets a little bit more built up until the mural is a player standing there, T-bow in hand, in front of the shield. Kind of like how like boss lair displays are in your POH. Like combine like the boss lair display with the fossil mechanic from the museum, and there's just Zuck looking at a player who's in front of the shield with the twisted bow notched back, ready to shoot at him or something like that. That would go so insanely hard.
Yeah.
You had to donate 5
man.
scythes, and you slowly build a model of Verzik Vitor fighting a bunch of players at theater or something like that. That would be nuts, dude. That'd be so cool.
Really cool. And then their name could get inscribed on the plaque, but only one person can donate at a time.
That would be tough to do, because like, how do you represent the entire clan? Like, what if I donate and then leave the clan? You know, I feel like it would have to be just like a standard, almost like a standard player model. You could probably have that on a plaque inside the thing of like what players have donated what, you know?
Yeah, that's what I meant. Not
on the displays.
Not a specific player. But if you inspect it, it shows Oxie and Michael donated a fire cape, and then it has the date that they like donated it. That'd be cool.
Okay, hear me out. It would be dumb. It would be really dumb. Really dumb. When you donate your infernal cape, you have a chance of getting a pet.
I would do it though. I would do it
because it's like just like you turn in your infernal cape, but instead you can turn it in to the clan hall instead, and you can build the infernal cape thing up in your clan hall. Then you have it like, oh, dude, you put the infernal cape in, and then like a nibbler came out. That's so weird how that happened. That's weird. And now it's gonna follow you around forever like that.
You know what's even weirder? If you had clan hall specific pets, and the chance to get those pets was like, it was a higher chance the more expensive the item, but they're pets that stay and roam in the clan hall. But it's not like a pet like you're not going to get a bloodhound. It's like it's a special pet that they make for the clan hall. Like you fill it with dogs or cats or birds or something. Like the more dogs that you have in there is because, you know, you had people donate, and then the clan hall spawned a pet, and everybody got a message like, you TNL just obtained a pet. The bloodhound version of the clan hall version of it.
Mm-hmm.
Really cozy, and you can go in there and like the little bloodhounds roaming around and sniffing, and well, man, go back and listen to the clan episode, and we kind of talk about this whole for like hours. I feel like
it was such an old episode though.
Nothing has changed with the clan system, so it's very relevant.
Really, nothing has changed, I feel like, which is wild. But
listen, J-Mods, if you're listening, the only thing we need is the ability to donate platinum tokens to the clan coffer and give it a max cash stack value. That's the only thing we need to make the clan hall viable.
We also need to know what days people last logged in. That'd be really helpful too. What days
Not
people last logged into the
admins.
clan? Yeah.
Last seen, make it everyone, not just admins. Because I don't feel like that's hard. They already collect that data for your own personal use. Like it's been 12 hours since you logged in. They tell you that every day. It's been 5 minutes since you logged in. They already know. We need it. Those two things, please. I'm gonna message Mod Rice right now. Just tell him, hey bud, Listen
God.
here, pal.
He's
Not
not
gonna
your
do that.
pal. He's not your pal.
Listen here, Buckaroo. Thank you, Dinosaur, for that fun question. Otis has a fun question for us next week. Otis, he messaged me today. He's like, hey, if you need a fun question, let me know. I'm like, yeah, shoot one over. Well, we might use it. So just letting you know, Otis, next week. Maybe actually not next week. I don't know. Oxy's going to be gone next week. So I don't know what the format of the show is actually going to look like. So maybe next time Oxy's on the show, we'll use it. But that's going to do it for the fun question, folks.
Surely Michael finds a guest. Surely Michael finds a guest.
I'm going to find a guest. I just don't know what the format's going to be. Like, I don't know if I will end up doing the second half alone or if I'll have the guest with me doing it with me, or well, I don't know. I never know what the format's going to be. So we'll find out. Tune in next week. And that's actually going to do it for the show. It's going to be the end. Thank you so much for listening and supporting. We appreciate all of you so much. I would say we're not like closing in, but we are going to hit 1 million total streams this year. I think at the time of recording, we are at 942,000.
Jesus.
So you guys are all contributing to that, and I think it's amazing. It's quite awesome. The amount of support that we get for these humble little podcasts blows my mind every single day, and you guys are awesome. So if you want to continue to support the show, you can do so by checking out the description. We have all of our social media links, everything that you could ever need. If you want to join the Patreon, if you want to find our merch store that I need to update, and all of our social media stuff is there. I will probably be streaming on Twitch this week. The day this episode comes out is the day after Wall Gothic sleeps, and I will have been live probably the entire morning doing the quest on Twitch. So if you saw that, that's fun. And I'll probably continue to stream later in the week. So follow our Twitch channel. And yeah, it's going to do it for the show. Again, thank you so much to everyone for the support, and we will see you guys next week. I will, at least. Oxy will not. So
I'll be up north. Hi, everyone.
Catch you later.